Hello, welcome to another episode of the You Only Live Once Life and Business Innovation Style Yummy Conversations, where I, Hani, bring you yummy conversations so that you can transform, heal yourself right now so you can jumpstart into your next career, meaningful career, life, love, health, whatever it is that you're wanting to create in your life. Now, this is a place where we're going to go deep and also effective. I am the best-selling author of the book that's, I don't have a copy of it with me at the moment, and also do run lots and lots of events and personal training for liberated leaders. So today we're going to be talking about how to heal yourself. Healing is something that is absolutely necessary if you want to shift into a place where you are able to create different results in your life. Whether that is transcending patterns of behavior, such as emotions that come up and like that distracts you from the love or the connection that you're feeling, or behaviors that influence you to act out or to act in a way that is not necessarily what truly fulfills you and truly creates you to feel that you're on the right path. So for example, overeating, for example, rebounding, acting out of spite, anger, feeling loneliness, needing attention and wanting to grasp for it, or saying things that you don't mean, doing things that you don't want to, that you're gonna regret later, or doing things or saying things in a way that creates outside impact that you did not actually want to create, and that you feel guilty about, or you feel that it's hurt someone. So healing something inside of you is actually what's going to shift who you are, your identity, and what's going to create different outcomes in your life. And when you do this thoroughly and effectively, then whatever that pattern is that's in your life that's distracting you, or that is recreating and that's using more energy than it needs to, and it's not the most effective way to create in your life, will shift. It will change, and you have the power to do that. And today we're going to be talking about some of the most amazing ways that I've worked with my private clients and shifted this in record time. So implement it. All right. So the first thing you need to know, and the first thing you want to grasp, because most people actually don't realize that, is identifying your root cause of whatever it is that you want to heal. Whether that in a relationship, you have certain behaviors that show up, whether it is in your work life, when you're achieving certain goals, it might take longer than what you want to. And what are some of the behavior patterns that are exhibiting that you want to shift? Whether that is in health, that you realize that you're taking yourself, you're not doing the actions, or there's certain blocks to create change in your health situation, or even spirituality, when you're feeling stuck and feeling that connection with your greater spirit. So recognize what is the root of your problem, or what is the root of the thing that you want to have movement in. That could be something that is a emotion that you're unable to process. That might be, for example, a feeling of insecurity, a feeling of aloneness, a feeling of not good enough, a feeling of needing to feel free and not feeling that. It might be the feeling of feeling unhappy and wanting to get something outside of yourself in order to be happy. It might be the feeling of not being able to sit with whatever's in you, so you're trying to stuff it down. So whatever that is, identify what that feeling is, which is step 2. And then step 1, first of all, recognize that there is something that you want to heal. When you realize what it is that you want to heal, you got to pinpoint what exactly that feeling is creating in you, because therein lies the tentacle that leads into the root. And when you head to the root and find out where it ends up, maybe it's an emotion that was exhibited a long time ago, since it's a pattern. Where did it originate from? Why did it happen? You want to find the exact moment that it happened, or the energetic structure in which holds it in place. Because when you do that, You won't see the problem recurring, and you will actually be able to deal with what actually happened in that moment and shift that, which will then rewrite all the courses of actions that has continued to iterate based upon that interpretation, that reaction at that time in the moment that pattern was first created. This is something called Gestalt therapy, and it's based off of that. And it's marrying the idea and the effectiveness of shamanic energetic work along with, trauma release and somatic release with regression therapy. So allowing all those different ways of helping you unearth that, because when you don't fix the root, just like a weed, if you just cut the top off, it's going to grow back. All right. So the first thing is recognize that there's something you want to heal and what it is specifically you want to heal, because you don't want it to repeat in your life again, because you don't need that in your life. Then secondly is don't listen to your stories, all the things that are going on in your head, explanations, justification, trying to analyze it. A lot of psychoanalysts or like therapists, we analyze a lot with them, but we don't need that analysis when you're doing transformational work. All you need to know is what exactly the root feeling is. Now, recognize, thirdly, the third point, recognize how your relationship is with that specific moment. Are you relating to it in a positive, in a negative, in a neutral way? Allow yourself to recognize what your relationship is with that moment. Of course, if you can't find that moment, don't stress, right? Because you might be stressed out, you can't find that moment. If you haven't deleted the response, it actually means that you haven't found that linchpin that shifts the entire thing of the root of the healing. And sometimes you could have many roots, and you want to find the one that's the earliest. All right. So when you actually realize that, hey, I'm procrastinating so much and I'm not motivated, or hey, I'm launching back into old habits, are you relating to that in a negative way where you're beating yourself up? Are you being disappointed? Or are you nonchalant, like I don't care about this, and justifying yourself out of it? Or are you relating to it positively or neutral? How are you relating to it? Because when you make yourself wrong, that actually interferes with the ability to continuously unearth and delete that. And the thing is, when your energy is clear and when you're healed, things flow. Like if things open up, you no longer feel judgment. You no longer feel the desire to prove yourself. You no longer feel this incessant feeling of I have to get rid or I have to heal this. You know that you've changed. You know you've shifted, and it no longer becomes an issue. And of course, some healing takes longer, like grief, and some healing is a journey. However, healing happens in the moment, which is one of the points, right? Point number 4 is healing happens in the moment. So at any given moment that you're feeling that you're not in alignment to your center, you can in that instant transform that. And that's why my coaching is so effective with clients. I don't do that many private clients anymore, but we do a lot of group coaching and also meditations and transformational audios that bring you back into the moment where you are able to make that decision. Healing happens in the moment, and it can happen permanently, or it can happen momentarily, moment to moment to moment. And so the fifth thing is to actually feel the emotion deeper. If you're able to fully embody all of the emotion that's stirring up and not avoid it without needing to spread it out or do something about it, feel all of the feelings and then allow yourself to process it so you can come back to your center before you act out of your pain. If you act out of your pain, the actions will not be as sustainable. Some people say, but sometimes I get angry and I'm really happy about that because I'm actually saying my truth. Yes, that is sometimes effective in the short run, but the type of relationships that it damages or has the potential of damaging because of the energetic impact that you have on people who might be more sensitive is something that takes a while to regain trust in. And so unless you deliberately wish to erode some energetic sensitivity or relationships, check yourself and allow yourself to be very conscious about how you create your reality and from what emotional state you are able to hold in order to create the reality that you want. Now, the sixth point is to choose to let it go. Now that you're feeling all the emotion, feeling all the situation, feeling the root of what you're wanting to heal, the pattern of you creating this, back and forth pattern, maybe acting out or sabotaging yourself or allowing yourself to spew different types of words where you don't mean it, or creating a lot more work for yourself, or just beating yourself up. Whatever this is, go deeper. Really tune in into the feeling and emotions of how you feel, because you know you're doing this to yourself. Some people feel a ton of guilt, a ton of pain for having to have others be the subject of their inconsideration. Sometimes it might feel shame. There are feelings that you don't want to face because you're fighting so hard in order to ignore them. So face them so you can release them and be free, right? The idea is to heal. Healing means unearthing all the things that have been holding you down so that you can be free on the inside, not from some external factor, not by buying a plane ticket and traveling around the world. It's not going to free you from the things you need to heal inside. So the next thing, which is 7, is use your breath to access that point in your body, in your psyche, in your multidimensional space, in your energetic field, in your psyche, to release those emotions, release those pains, and then choose what your next path is. What's a healthier way of you showing up and a healthier way of you relating to your pain, your physical pain, emotional pain, or the version of you that you want to see. So live into that person, act, breathe, and course correct at any moment in time. So when I tell people that healing actually is an instant, it can be instantaneous. I healed my 15-year disease in one instant, but I needed to choose another course of action to shift my focus into that. And at the same time, acknowledge everything that shows up so that we can continuously transform into that new space. So these are 7 tips in order for you to start healing yourself. Below in the links, we also have transition changes and different PDFs to walk you step by step in order for how to support you to change from one place in your life to another for meaningful work, prosperity, or even your health. So I can't wait for you to see those, because that will go into more depth with a workbook on how to create that moment to moment change in your mind, in your spirit, and in the actions that you take. This is Hani. I'm going to sign off. Give me a like if this video helped you, and write down below which of these points supported your healing. We're actually combining a lot of points in a very concise and short way. So hopefully you'll be able to navigate that. And of course, if you have any questions at all, or if you want personal support to break through your healing, contact our team. And if we have any space at all, we'll let you know. All right. Talk to you soon, and see you on